going on, everybody? Excuse me, Mike, and I'm back with another reaction video, obviously, because that's what my channel is, but whatever. So, a couple of days ago, I did Best of Zangers, was Floor, Jansen, and Henk Poort doing Phantom of the Opera. One of my favorite plays. But anyways, also, I found out and I saw in the comments that Henk Poort did a version of The Sound of Silence, originally done by Simon and Garfunkel. Then it's been covered so many times, most notably by Disturbed. Disturbed is one of my favorite bands. David Draymond, I've got to meet in person. He is an amazing guy, very down to earth, and probably one of the most humble artists I've had the privilege to not only listen to, but meet. And there's a story why I feel that way. But Henk Poort, his voice in Phantom of the Opera was amazing, and I'm curious to see The Sound of Silence done by him. I'm actually kind of really excited because his voice in Phantom of the Opera, obviously he's got a lot of experience in theater, a lot of experience doing opera, and I want to see his take on it. And I want to see, I mean, the way he portrayed the Phantom of the Opera and the role of the Phantom was incredible. So I want to see what he does with The Sound of Silence. And without further ado, we're just going to get right to it, guys.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence.
Okay, right off the bat, I noticed two things. One, I feel like they're using Disturbed's musical arrangement, is kind of what it sounds like, but the vocally, he's incorporating both David Draymond's melody and a touch of Simon and Garfunkel's too. That kind of Simon and Garfunkel's is a little bit more upbeat, and the words were not quite as strung out as what Disturbed did, and he's kind of mixing those two elements together. That's incredible. That is talent right there.
In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone, neath the halo of a Hay Street lamp, I turn my collar to the cold and damp. When my eyes were stared by the flash of a neon light that split the night and touched the sound of silence. And in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking. People hearing without listening. People writing songs that voices never shared.
I gotta pause it right there, guys. That line gives me chills every time, and it hits me right in the heart every time for a couple of reasons. I was raised by two different people. Well, my mom and my dad, so there were a couple. but they were completely different. My dad was a mechanic. My mom was a musician. My mom actually, by chance, by accident, received a gold record in the late 80s for some music that her and my uncle did. Um, they kind of submitted all their receipts and stuff from their tapes that they sold from their trunks traveling the country. Broke as hell. Turns out it was enough for a gold record. But one thing that was always instilled in me as a kid kind of goes along the lines of people writing songs that voices never share. Um, that music, under no circumstances, should ever be suppressed, censored, or silenced. Ever. Um, I grew up as a singer and a guitar player. I've been trying to work up the courage to sing on camera, but I got stage fright so bad when it comes to that. But it's sad that how many songs people have, and songs don't need a lot of arrangement. They don't need a lot of music. A song is a story that we tell with emotion and passion and from the heart. That's a song. Uh, and you don't even need to have music behind it. And so many people have so many stories to tell that they're either afraid to, or they've been suppressed by so many people that we never get to hear those stories. And it just, I'm sorry guys, that's just always been kind of upsetting and kind of sad, and I just had to point that out. Sorry.
And no one dare disturb the sound of silence. Fool said you do not know. Silence like a cancer grows. Hear my words that I might teach you. Take my arms that I might reach you. But my words, like silent raindrops, fell and echoed in the wells of silence. And the people bowed and prayed to the neon god they made. And the sight flashed out its warning in the world that it was forming. And the sign said the words of the prophets are written on the subway walls and tenement halls and whispered in the sound of silence.
Mr. Poort. You know, that song is probably, in my opinion, one of three songs that no matter how you hear it, no matter when you hear it, I believe the original was done back in the 60s, in a time where the 60s were kind of a trying time. For obvious reasons, you know, the history stuff that, you know, they teach us in school, the Cuban Missile Crisis and JFK's assassination and things like that, but they don't really tell you that in the 60s there was this huge boom of entertainment, um, and technology. TV was starting to become more and more popular, uh, things like that. And now, in 2020, it's the same thing. So, somebody had told me, and I read somewhere, that Simon and Garfunkel's version was a warning. It was inspired by, I can't remember which one it was inspired by, over essentially a dream that they had. And then Disturbed, when they did it a couple years ago, uh, it was angry and it was sad because nobody heeded that warning. Guys, all I can say is that this song really, really shows what you were missing by allowing ourselves to get into tunnel vision. We got families, we got jobs, careers, we got problems. Everybody does. Everybody's got secrets. But if you open your eyes a little bit and you look around, don't be afraid to break that silence. Don't be afraid to stand up. Don't be afraid to speak. Um, and no matter what part of the world you're in, the UK, Scotland, Russia, Africa, China, Mongolia, wherever, New Zealand, wherever you are, guys, we have a voice for a reason. We have eyes for a reason. We have ears for a reason. And I don't want to get too preaching. I don't want to get too whatever. But I mean, this is one of those songs that kind of proves the point of we have to open our eyes to each other, and we have to stand up to and for each other. Uh, if you've ever been to a big city, I've been to New York City, I've been to Atlantic City, I've been to LA. And the words of the prophets really are written on subway walls. Take a look at the graffiti that you see. Um, Next time you see graffiti, take a close look at it. Now, I'm not talking about the gang stuff you see on trains and underpasses and things like that. I'm talking about, like, I mean, I saw one that said the end of the world is here. And it didn't show a Bible quote, but next to it, next to the spray painting, somebody took a picture, two pictures. One was of their family, and they duct taped it right underneath. And the next picture was that same family. One of them had passed away, so he was scratched out, and the rest of them had their backs turned to each other. And that's really the end. Not like apocalyptic religious stuff. That when we allow our own world and the world that we create to become destroyed, that's how it ends, is by what we allow ourselves to be distracted by. But you guys get what I'm saying. I mean, there's so many elements to this song. I could go on for forever, but again, it's all interpretation. It's all opinion, and this channel isn't made for preachy. So I'm sorry if I came off that way, but there's a powerful message in this song. And Hank, bless you. God's bless you. Disturbed did an amazing job, but his voice showed elements of Simon and Garfunkel and David Draymond's rendition of it, and I feel like not just because of his age, but his voice, that it's kind of like listening to your grandpa tell you a story of how things used to be. And when your grandpa tells you of how things used to be, it really puts into perspective where we are now, if that makes any sense. So I'm gonna leave that at that, guys. That was a beautiful performance. Mr. Poort, you got a fan for life. You earned it. Keep doing what you do, Hank. I don't know if you'll ever see this video or if it'll ever circulate around or anything like that, but if you do see this, keep doing what you do, keep telling your stories, and don't, under any circumstances, I know you won't, but don't let that music die from you. Everybody else, if whether you're a musician, a singer, or you just like to listen, don't let that music die at all. Because when the music dies, that's the end for us guys. I mean, anyways, I'll see you guys later in my next video. Cheers, and I'll talk to you later.